Good morning and welcome to our platforms nrpmediaja.com, also Facebook and YouTube at nrpmediaja. It's Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. I am Leon Nash with the NRP Break of Day Newscast. Here are the headlines. Jamaica now experiencing severe drought conditions, but Prime Minister says efforts are being made to minimize the impact. Police Commissioner sends strong message to criminals that they should surrender or face the wrath of the security forces. A row has developed between the mayor and his JLP deputy in the Houston and St. Andrew cooperation. Curfews imposed in communities in St. Elizabeth and Hanover parishes. And in sports, former Jamaica youth batsman Justin Beckford is among the 13-member Jamaica Scorpions squad selected for the sixth round regional four-day match against title holders Guyana Harpy Eagles at Sabina Park today. The news today is brought to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations.
You're listening to NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Now the details of the news. Jamaica is now experiencing meteorological, hydrological, and agricultural drought conditions, which threatens the country's water supply systems and agricultural sector. This declaration was made by Prime Minister Andrew Holness in Parliament last evening.
A meteorological drought happens when dry weather patterns dominate a particular geographic area. A hydrological drought occurs when low water supply becomes evident, especially in streams, reservoirs, and groundwater levels. And this usually follows a meteorological drought. So after a period of no rain, then the natural storage and man-made storage runs low, and therefore we then say we are in a hydrological drought. You observe this in rivers and streams drying up. And then, Mr. Speaker, we have the agricultural drought, and this happens when crops are visibly affected by the lack of rain or irrigation from stored sources. So we are in the full throes of an all-out drought.
The Prime Minister acknowledged that the country is now facing a rainwater crisis due to low-level rainfall over the last several months and warned residents in parishes now experiencing low rainfall to brace for major disruptions to their water supply systems in the coming weeks.
Based on the low level of rainfall being experienced during March 2024, the drought conditions are expected to get worse and becoming more severe for those parishes that are already seeing the deficit in rainfall. So parishes such as Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, Manchester, it's going to become even more difficult until we start to break that lack of rain, which we expect in May, we will start to see some rain.
As a result of the dry conditions now affecting some parishes, especially in Westmoreland, Mr. Holness said measures will be implemented to ensure supply of water to affected communities.
And I want to say here, Mr. Speaker, that we hear the cries, we hear the complaints. I dispatched Minister Samuda to go down and meet with stakeholders. He did, and we mobilized almost all the trucking resources of the NWC to focus on the Negril area. We are putting resources there, and we are hopeful that we can keep the response going for the next 4 weeks so that the people of Negril can have at least some convenience in this very difficult time.
And the Prime Minister also announced funding for some 50 constituencies as a result of the ongoing drought conditions.
For those 50 constituencies, they will get 1.5 million for trucking. And I can say that the constituencies are all that will get this. Most, if not all of them, are rural. So it's really the rural constituencies that will get it. There might be a few in the St. Andrew area, but then those are considered as rural as well.
That was Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake has declared that as part of his job, will be to ensure that the JCF evolves into an even more efficient and technologically advanced force, which focuses on community safety as its priority. Speaking at this maiden press briefing yesterday, Dr. Blake assured that the force's operational abilities will be further enhanced, in addition to equipping its members with the knowledge and training to respond to the needs of the society. Part of the response, the Commissioner says, is responding to the mayhem and the threats posed by criminal elements, some of whom reside in known communities, and he sent a direct message to the criminals.
Your actions have not gone unnoticed. The havoc you wreak and fear you sow and the destruction you bring upon the livelihoods of innocent Jamaicans have demanded our full attention, and now you have it. We are actively targeting and pursuing those who choose the path of violent criminality with the unrelenting resolve to bring them to justice. To those individuals, let this serve as a warning. When the JCF comes for you, and rest assured we will, it is in your best interest to surrender peacefully.
Meanwhile, the Commissioner says there has been a noticeable increase in road fatalities, and as such, the JCF will be dealing with this in a forceful way to ensure a further reduction in the rate of 13%, which was attained in road crashes last year.
Males represented a staggering 87% of these fatalities. Vulnerable road users, including pedestrians, pedal cyclists, motorcyclists, and pillions, accounted for 59% of the fatalities. This statistic aligns the critical need for targeted interventions to protect our most at-risk populations. As of April 4th this year, we have documented 112 fatalities on our roads, indicating a 5% decline compared to the same period last year.
Commissioner of Police, Dr. Kevin Blake. A row has developed between the mayor and the People's National Party-led Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation and the minority leader of the Jamaica Labour Party. The matter relates to the failure of the mayor, Andrew Swaby, to allow members of the minority party to sit on critical committees of the municipality. In his letter to the mayor, Deputy Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Delroy Williams, stated that the JLP caucus finds it very concerning that the mayor's approach to the assignment of committee chairman seeks to divide the membership on the basis that it holds the majority. Noting that the tilt is disheartening, Mr. Williams says the attempt will undermine the essential principles of transparency, accountability, and cooperation in the esteemed office. Mr. Williams was at pains to point out that both the JLP and PNP holds equal share in the municipality by virtue of the 2020 split among the divisions. Mr. Williams urged the mayor to reconsider his approach and to strive for equilibrium, professionalism, and transparency, as it is crucial that all elected voices, irrespective of political allegiance, are afforded an opportunity to contribute to the decision-making process. Meanwhile, in a positive news from the council, a $34 million road patching program is slated to get underway in sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Andrew Swaby, made the announcement at yesterday's sitting of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. The mayor said work will be done on at least one road in each of the 40 divisions of the corporation. He warned that contractors who leave construction debris on the roadway after completing the work will be held liable, as the KSAMC will be firm on taking action against these contractors who do substandard work. The KSAMC comprises an even split between the ruling Jamaica Labour Party and the opposition People's National Party, following the February 26 local government elections. In news from the crime scene now, a 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of the Vineyard Community, St. Elizabeth. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Monday, April 8, and remains in effect until 6 p.m. Wednesday, April 10. That's today. The boundaries of the curfew are north from intersection of Outer Road and Mango Walk, travel easterly along an imaginary line bordering right side of the road. Outer Road to Vineyard Baptist Church on right, with a dirt road on left of the church running southerly. East from the Vineyard Baptist Church, using a dirt road traveling southerly to the end of a dirt road, focusing on houses to the right. south from an imaginary line along houses bordering Dougal Road, west Dougal Road to intersection of Outer Road and Mango Walk. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. Meanwhile, a 48-hour curfew has also been imposed in sections of Green Island, Hanover. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Monday, April 8, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. today. The boundaries of the curfew are north at Horton along the Green Island Main Road to the Lobster Smokehouse. East along an imaginary line from Lobster Smokehouse to the Bacadia community. South along the Bacadia Main Road to the Salt Spring roundabout, and west from the Salt Spring roundabouts to Horton during the hours of the curfew. All persons also within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. You're listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations.
Hi, I'm Genevieve.
And I'm Kalisha.
And we are the Christo Praises. You're listening to NRP Media and Radio. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
And now let's give you some sporting information brought to you by Hepburn's Glass. They're located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 9080962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass, quality service is our priority.
And now for our sports stories. We kick off on cricket. Former Jamaica youth batsman Justin Beckford says he's aware that a greater degree of focus will be required to be successful in first-class cricket. Beckford, a former national age group captain who also represented the West Indies on the 19s, is among the 13-member Jamaican Scorpion squad selected for the 6th round regional 4-day match against title holders Guyana Harpy Eagles. The contest is set for Savannah Park starting today. According to Beckford, the feeling is a special one. He's very excited to have the chance not just to represent his country, but to represent all the persons who believed in him. This selection of Beckford comes as out of favor. West Indies batsman Jermaine Blackwood is left out of the Scorpion squad after an abysmal run in the regional 4-day tournament. The 32-year-old Blackwood, a former Test vice captain and a cornerstone of Jamaica's batting since his first-class debut in 2012, has a top score of 27 in 9 innings this season. Meanwhile, overseas assistant coach Azhar Mahmood has announced that he will leave Surrey with immediate effect to take a role with the Pakistan men's side. The former all-rounder joined the county in 2022, with the club going on to win consecutive county championship titles over the last 2 years. Mahmoud also had 2 playing stints at Surrey and said it was a quote, difficult decision to leave his second home, unquote. The 49-year-old added that, quote, the opportunity to work for my country again was too good to turn down, unquote. He further informed that he was excited to start this new challenge in his career and can't wait to get started with the team. Mahmoud was previously assistant coach for Pakistan from 2016 to 2019. He will act as interim head coach for their T20 series against New Zealand. Surrey said they would not look to appoint a replacement for Mahmoud at the moment. Finally, on football, security is being increased at Champions League games after a media outlet supporting the Islamic State group published threats against venues. Ministers in both France and Spain confirmed enhanced security measures. A pro-ISIS media channel published several images of stadiums hosting quarterfinal ties on today and tomorrow. That should have been yesterday and today. UEFA said it was aware of the threats, but said games in Madrid, Paris, and London would go ahead as planned. French Interior Minister Gerald Damanin, that should be Gerald Damanin, said there would be, quote, considerable reinforcement security measures in place when PSG play Barcelona in Paris today. That's sports in our NRP Break of Day newscast at this time, brought to you by Hepburn's Glass. They're located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston 13.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass, quality service is our priority.
We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com or call or WhatsApp 876-336-9928. That's the local news and sport. Stand by now for the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America.
This is VOA News. I'm Laurel Bowman. U.S. President Joe Biden has labeled Israel's approach to its war with Hamas as a mistake. VOA's Anita Powell now with more news on this from the White House.
The White House said Israel is ready for a ceasefire after 6 months of brutal fighting, but that Hamas leadership is unwilling to meet Israel's terms and release some of the hostages seized during the October 7th attack on Israel, which provoked an Israeli military campaign that has flattened much of Gaza. Jake Sullivan is National Security Advisor of the United States.
There could be a ceasefire in place today that would extend for several weeks to be built upon longer if Hamas would be prepared to release some of those people. So let's train the attention where it belongs, which is that the world should say at this moment to Hamas, it's time. Let's go. Let's get that ceasefire. We're ready.
Family members of some of the American hostages met with White House officials Tuesday to press for their return. Anita Powell, VOA News, Washington.
Israel's foreign minister has threatened that its country's forces would strike Iran directly if the Islamic Republic launched an attack from its territory against Israel. Details from VOA's Tommy McNeil.
Wednesday's remarks come after Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei reiterated a promise to retaliate against Israel over the attack on its consulate in Damascus earlier this month. Tehran holds Israel responsible for the strike that leveled the building, killing 12 people. Israel has not acknowledged its involvement. The strike killed 7 Iranian Revolutionary Guard members, 4 Syrians, and a Hezbollah militia member. Khamenei spoke at a prayer ceremony celebrating the end of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, saying the airstrike was wrongdoing and akin to an attack on Iranian territory. Tommy McNeil, VOA News.
And the U.S. has agreed to sell $138 million worth of urgently needed military equipment to Ukraine. This is VOA News.
That was the latest international news from the VOA. Now for the weather report and the forecast. The National Meteorological Service is reporting that there is a significant feature of a high-pressure ridge building across Jamaica. The high ridge is expected to remain across Jamaica until Friday, when a trough enters the Central Caribbean. In the 24-hour forecast, this morning, mainly sunny. This afternoon, mainly sunny and windy. In the 3-day forecast, after today, Thursday, mainly sunny and windy. Friday and Saturday, mainly sunny in the morning, partly cloudy during the afternoon. On the current regional weather features, there is a cold front across Puerto Rico. That is the latest weather reports and forecast on NRP Radio. With that, we've come to the end of our news presentation this morning. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. Jamaica now experiencing severe drought conditions, but Prime Minister says efforts are being made to minimize the impact. Police Commissioner sends a strong message to criminals that they should surrender or face the wrath of the security forces. A row has developed between the mayor and his JLP deputy in the Kingston and St. Andrew cooperation. Curfews imposed in communities in St. Elizabeth and Hanover parishes. And in sport, former Jamaica youth batsman Justin Beckford is among the 13-member Jamaica Scorpions squad selected for the 6th-round regional 4-day match against title holders Guyana Harpy Eagles at St. Spider Park. That starts today. The full half-an-hour package of news in the NRP Break of Day newscast came to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations.
You're listening to NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Here is your invitation to join us again this evening at 6:30 for the NRP Evening News Roundup. On behalf of the entire news and production teams, I am Leon Nash for NRP News. We encourage you to join this growing medium by subscribing to our YouTube channel at NRP Media JA. Feel fulfilled and informed. Have a good rest of your morning, reminding you too that if you walk, ride, or drive, make every effort to arrive alive. Have a good one.